On January 1st, during New Year's Eve celebrations in the French Quarter in New Orleans, a devastating incident occurred on Bourbon Street. Shamsuddin Jabbar, a 42-year-old man, drove a pickup truck into a crowd, resulting in at least 15 fatalities and injuring more than 30 others. After crashing, Jabbar exited and exchanged fire with police, resulting in him being fatally shot. Jabbar, an American citizen and former U.S. Army veteran from Texas, had an ISIS flag discovered in his truck. Sean Strickland mocks those who call him an extremist. You mean people who actually follow Quran's teaching? Islam contributes nothing to the world besides violence and oppression, not compatible with America and freedom. Strickland asked his thoughts on what happened in New Orleans, and he says Muhammad would be proud. Looks like Strickland needs another sit-down. Albert Duraev said in his country he couldn't be friends with Sean because of the things he says about his religion. Love Albert, but the fact that he made me soften my stance because it made his life harder is why Islam's not compatible with America. I hope he is doing well in his Islamic country. You should check out the Talmud, you clown. Judaism doesn't belong in America as well. Judaism more compatible in America than Islam, but if you're Jewish, your loyalties lie with Israel than America. You live in this country, you're American, not Israeli American. American, that's my issue with Judaism. Strickland wanted to fight in America for his next fight, his title fight with DDP, but it'll take place in Australia in Sydney, February 8th, UFC 312. Jalton Luderbach went to train with Strickland, getting him ready for that fight. He says they went to war to get him ready, and he thanked him for the rounds. That's the crimson red mouthguard of Jalton Luderbach after sparring with Strickland. Luderbach's also getting ready for his own fight in February, a week after Sean Strickland's fight. This one's going to be for an RFA title. Luderbach was supposed to take a short notice fight against Shara Bullet in June in Riyadh, but he tested positive for PEDs, so he was removed. Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to be in the corner of Usman Nurmagomedov January 25th in Dubai for the Bellator Lightweight Championship fight. It's dubbed Dagestan versus Russia, but Khabib doesn't think that's a good name because there's no comparison between the two for him.
Ireland don't have fighters, but let's be honest. How many fighters you know from Ireland? Paul Hughes and Connor, and who else? There's no fighter, but you can Dagestan, you can understand. You know, so many organizations, they don't even sign Dagestan fighters because they worry about like everybody can become champion, you know. But Dagestan, and let's be honest, Dagestan level of MMA here, but Ireland level, not even half of Dagestan level.
Paul Hughes just laughs off the comments, but it's not necessarily a crazy take or an insanely hot take. That region of the world has produced a crazy amount of talent over the past few years. As far as Irish fighters in the UFC go, you have Ian Machado Gary, Johnny Walker, I don't really consider Irish, Shauna Bannon, Kiefer Crosby, Kyle Loughran, and Conor McGregor. Johnny Walker fights Bogdan Gushkov on the 18th of this month, and Shauna Bannon takes on Pooja Tomar on March 22nd. UFC considering an interim women's bantamweight title fight between Kayla Harrison and Raquel Pennington if current champ Juliana Pena is unable to defend her title due to health issues. Harrison's manager Ali Abdelaziz tells MMA Junkie that if Pena can't defend the title within 8 to 9 months, UFC plans to introduce an interim title to keep the division active. Ali also believes Pennington is the appropriate opponent for Harrison in this scenario. Pennington lost a split decision to Pena in October, but the decision was controversial with 25 of 26 media outlets scoring it in favor of Pennington and one scoring it as a draw. If Pena is out for a really long time, maybe she's a decent pick to be champ at the end of the year at plus 800. UFC 313 on March 8th has added a welterweight contest between Carlos Leal and Alex Morono. Morono's coming off a split decision loss to Daniel Rodriguez. Leal last fought at UFC 308 in October against Renat Fakhretdinov. All the judges gave it to Renat, but it was controversial. Analysts and fans, many of them believed that Leal outperformed Fakhretdinov. All 16 media outlets scored the bout in favor of Leal. Fan sentiment also agreed with that. 58% gave it to Leal, 30 to 27 32% thought he won 29-28, but it goes down as a win for Renat, and he kept his undefeated streak at 23. That card has also added Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. Silva just fought a couple weeks back against Manal Kape, but he's ready to get back in there March 8th. Van also just fought 3 weeks back. He won a decision over Cody Durden. His punching skills are on point. Durden was tough, so he lasted, but that just prolonged the beating for 15 minutes. Van has been very active. He's fighting like every 2 months. This will be his 4th fight in just 8 months. That card has also added Myron Santos versus Francis Marshall. Santos won his UFC debut in August, and he's won 4 in a row. A lot of people are high on Santos, 24-year-old prospect. A couple other fights which were previously added to the card were Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. That's number 4 and 10 in the strawweight division. You also have Bruno Ferreira versus Armin Petrosian in a middleweight contest. They still need to add a main event and co-main event. That's March 8th, UFC 313 at the T-Mobile in Vegas. Actually, one more fight just got added to that card. It's Santos versus Diaz. Ozzy Diaz got knocked out by Zhang recently in Macau. Santos won on the Contender Series this season and will be making his UFC debut. Andrea Lee is going to be taking on JJ Aldridge on March 1st. Aldridge is coming off a loss to Veronica Hardy. Lee's coming off a loss to Montana De La Rosa. Lee has lost 5 in a row, which is the second longest losing streak currently in UFC. Number 1 is Tony Ferguson with 8 losses in a row. Lee's actually tied with Tai Tuivasa. Both have lost 5 in a row. The newest addition to the UFC roster is 19-year-old Alice Pereira, and she tells me she wants to make her UFC debut in either March in London or April in Miami, and the fighter she wants to take on is Claudia Segala. The Polish bantamweight is a good call-out because she likes to strike and doesn't seem to have much of a ground game, and that works for Pereira because she's looking to strike as well and showcase her kickboxing skills. Her length and aggression will make her an interesting watch in the UFC women's bantamweight division. Merab Dvalishvili says that Ilia Topuria's brother Alexander is just as good as him. He makes his debut next month at UFC 312 in Sydney, taking on Cody Haddon, and he fights 1 division lower than Ilia at 135. Yuri Prohashka says he's getting his engine started 2 weeks before his fight with Jamal Hill. Raul Rosa's brother Jesse Rosa is fighting at Fury 182 on February 21st. He has a 6-1 record and he's fighting for the Fury FC Bantamweight Championship. Bilal Hassan is likely a future UFC flyweight fighter. He's defending his flyweight title in Cage Fury on February 1st. Octagon MMA going back to Prague on June 14th. And before you go, check out On It for top-tier supplements and fitness gear. Check my affiliate link in the description to support the channel and optimize your performance. Thanks for watching.